Bill Simmons had this running like series he used to do where it's like, and he would talk about his NBA trade value columns, and he would be like, if team A offered team B and said, I'm going to swap you this guy for this guy, who hangs up the phone and who calls a meeting about it, right? And I was going to say with Gibson that if we're doing equal player swaps with running backs in the NFL, the only players or the only GMs in the NFL, if I was the GM of this team and they were doing running back swaps for Antonio Gibson, the only one where I tell them, like, don't hang up the phone, let's have a conversation about it, are Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, the aforementioned, Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, and maybe Nick Chubb, right? The only player what I'd say, like, you have to think about it. Give me a little bit of time. I'm not 100% certain, but I have to think about it. Would probably be Ezekiel Elliott and Joe Mixon. Past that, just knocked off my notebook in my zeal. There's not a single running back in the NFL that I'm taking over him. I'm not taking Josh Jacobs over him. I never been that big of a Josh Jacobs guy. I know he got a lot of hype coming out of the league, coming out of Alabama. There's two other guys that I had on my list. Not Jonathan Taylor, who everyone loves this year. Gibson can hold on to the football. Gibson's a better receiver. I'm not talking about J.K. Dobbins or Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I think Gibson's more talented, more just better than those guys, frankly speaking. And I want to be this one very overt name that I have deliberately made sure that I'm not mentioning. I'm not even holding a meeting or having a second thought about Saquon Barkley, right? Like, if you tell me right now, Antonio Gibson or Saquon Barkley, I'm going to say, fuck that guy. Give me Gibson. I don't want a guy who's missed 17 games in 2 years. I don't want a guy who's had 500 carries so far. And I don't want a guy who looks like he could be, an injury marred player for the majority of his career. Give me Gibson. So that's how I feel about him. He's definitively a top 10 running back if you go by the list I just mentioned. And yeah, that's that.
Shane McCaffrey.
I did. McCaffrey's number one. Like, you can't. McCaffrey's just the best dual threat weapon in the NFL right now. There's just no ifs and buts about it.
I bring
him
up McCaffrey.
Him and Kamara.
I bring up McCaffrey because everything I've read is that's what Turner wants him to become. He wants him to kind of become. I mean,
it seemed laughable initially, and not anymore.
Yeah, I'm not saying he'll be as good as McCaffrey. McCaffrey is a freak and a stud, but like a similar role, right? Where he's going to touch the ball a lot, and it's not going to be necessarily like I'm going to line up in the I formation. We're going 36 power. It's going to be him in the swing passes. It's going to be counters. It's going to be jet sweeps. Any which way you can get him moving before he even has the ball. Right.
Or you just line him up in the backfield and then you motion him into the slot, and now you've got a different shit look.
Yeah, I mean, you put him in the slot against a linebacker, and the linebacker's torched. Our offense hummed last year when he was healthy, and it became stagnant when he left until Heineke came in and was like, "I'm going to go Superman for 5 quarters." But like the amount of times Smith dumped the ball to him, and then he made 2 guys miss and picked up 6 extra yards. He's slippery, for lack of a better term. And then he also has 4 career touchdowns against the Cowboys already. So, like, love him.
I wanted to say that his performance against Dallas on Thanksgiving, I hate bringing up this name again, was RG3-esque. 100 yards,
3 sticks.
100 yards rushing. I think it was 101 and 3 touchdowns. He humiliated the Dallas defense that day. I think he was the one with the waving goodbye as he was crossing the end zone, crossing the line into the end zone. That was the national headline picture for that game. But like, that was one of the best performances by one of our players against a Dallas team in a decade.
Yeah. I mean, he's a stud. When he ripped up his toe on the turf in Pittsburgh, we were down 7-0 already. And I remember thinking, oh shit, like, because at that point, there was the tide of the season was turning, right? We had won a couple games. Like, if we upset the Steelers, and like we were in it. And I remember when he got hurt, and I will never forget. I was like, go figure. Like, we're not going to win this game now. Like, there's no chance we win this game. Which obviously we did because our defense is sick. But if Gibson can stay healthy all year, I mean, sky's the limit for him. We're talking an ace at receiver, one of the better tight ends. I can't believe Super Spreader's actually good. Talking about missing, I thought Logan Thomas was going to fucking suck. And then we have a potential top 10 running back. I mean, like, the pieces are there.
You just said it. Top 10 receiver, top 10 tight end, and top 10 running back. Tell me more.